Hi, and welcome to another episode of Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. I'm Nicole Walters, Director of Bespoke Architects, and I'm about to show you what inspiring images from around the internet made our Pinterest boards today. The first project that we have here is a little concrete and brick structure that I really liked their alfresco area. The shape of it's actually a crescent shape, and it has an inbuilt concrete seat, so a formed up concrete seat at the end of that alfresco space. I thought that was a wonderful inclusion. I do like the use of concrete, and I do like inbuilt furniture. So that to me was a really nice garden solution. I liked the shape and the fact that the same material was used for the ceiling, the wall, the floor, and the furniture, which is a contrasting colour to the sort of the terracottas and the greens that they've gone for in the surrounding landscaping. So it's quite a vibrant space and an interesting space, and that's why that one's made our alfresco board today. The other image that I've pinned from that project is their staircase. It is a concrete staircase that you can see there on the screen. So it's quite a dark staircase, and that's why they've put the stair lights on. So that is one lighting solution for a darker staircase, but I do like the concrete. I do like the material palette of that stair. It is just more about lighting, and note that they don't have a handrail, which is not a legal requirement, but certainly does assist in the climbing and the descending of the stairs. The other image that I've pinned from a different project is this particular shower. Yesterday I was pinning showers with shower screens. This is a pared back shower once again, so it's got all the exposed pipework, and then they've used the same copper piping to form the shower screen rail. So I really liked that as a really pared back and simple shower. So that's why that one's on the board. The same project, their alfresco space, just the way their materials, the composition of that material palette. So we can see that they're using a timber deck, and they've got timber slats, and then they have this rendered blockwork that sort of creates these little parapet shapes, and then the brickwork of the stairs themselves leading down. So I just really like that as a composition of materials and form. And then from that same project internally, it was just that wall of joinery and the way that that fireplace sits in that joinery, and then you've got glass all around that. So it's sort of like a half-height wall. We can see the structure there holding up the roof as well as the window for the glass. That same project, I pinned this on the appliance board. It is the kitchen stove, which is a wood burning stove. And then again, we see that same use of copper piping here, protruding down from the ceiling and creating like the pot rack above the stove. So I just really like that as a handy design solution. Something a bit different, and that's why that's on the board today. Also different was this particular project here that had put precast concrete planter boxes within the actual external staircase, and that's the other image of it there from the top looking down. You can just see the horizontal line of those planter boxes there, and there's the vertical element of it there. I just thought that was a really interesting external staircase, so that's why that one is on the board. This random art space project, I just loved the way they'd curved up the timber screen on the external. It's like it's revealing itself. So I really thought that was a beautiful detail, as was their front doors. There's just something so elegant about these two sliding glass panes. I think it might be the slimness of the timber frame that's really catching my eye, and the proportion of the door. So they're quite narrow and tall. So I really liked that, with the little protruding ledge that offers, it almost looks like it's offering weather protection. So that's why that one has made the board. And from that same project, I really like this as adjustable shelving solution. So we can see that the wall has got the bracket bolted to it, and then it's got these with little grooves to move the shelves around, and then it's using leather straps to also go up in to those same grooves. That was a really beautiful shelving detail. So that's on our joinery board if you're looking for that after this presentation. I read an article, the image from the article that caught my eye was this one, and the article was called The Psychology of High Ceilings in Creative Workspaces. I actually have a high ceiling above me. It's something that I'm just drawn to naturally. And then they had tips on that, and that actually came from this book here, My Creative Space, How to Design Your Home to stimulate ideas and spark innovation. So it may be worth buying on Amazon as part of this COVID lockdown, and maybe finding some more inspiration for your workspaces now that more and more people are working from home. So that was the book that was from that article. I actually pinned this particular pin though for the mosaic tile floor. I really love that as a workplace floor. It's something a bit different. And then the way the workstations are set up, it feels more like a hair salon than a design studio. It's just a really interesting space, and it does really appeal to me, that image. So that's why that one is on the board. From that same article was this solution here with the built-in desk, and I'm going to guess that's recycled floorboards because that is exactly what you can see behind me here. Obviously my office has emptied out and I'm the only person here for COVID-19, but you can see that we've done exactly the same sort of thing as this image here, where we've done suspended shelves from the wall made out of recycled timber, and then at the end of theirs they have got some shelvage, storage rather, and with some covered open shelving and then some covered drawers. So that was a really nice workspace as well. So that's why that one has made the board. This particular image here I pinned for the staircase. It is the steel stringer on the edge with the timber tread. But what really I found really inspiring about this image was they used a different material just for that wall of the staircase. So the staircase blends with its wall, but the whole composition becomes a feature in itself. It's not a feature stair sitting off a generic white wall. It's actually a beautiful textured wall that a staircase runs along. So I just really thought that was a beautiful staircase detail. This image here, I pinned it. I, again, love the shape, the two gables here. There's a strong vertical and horizontal element to the street, and then we've got an offset gable behind that. So it's really interesting as viewed from this angle. And then this image here, it was the material of the kitchen that I really enjoyed. So it's like a pine plywood, I'm going to guess. That is an integrated fridge, and I can tell that from the grill at the bottom of that. It's just a really simple, seamless material, quite elegant in the way it's presented there. So that's why that one made the board. This image here from the ghost house, it was that island bench. There is no other kitchen component to this kitchen. It is just a monolithic island bench that I can see the sink in this end and I can see the cooking in that end, and there is nothing else. There's staircases either side of that. It's just minimalist simplicity in a kitchen. I really enjoy that. I wonder how it would go as a functional cooking space, but I really do enjoy that. I have a rather large island bench at home, and it's double-sided, so it's quite wide like this, and it is actually my food storage and all my kitchen wooden spoons, storage containers, plates, cups. That's everything that's stored in the island bench, but it has no cooking function. I have that behind me. So I do like this concept. I have something similar, but I'm not sure how that goes as using, but it just as in a photograph like this, it's just a stunning design solution. And then from that same house, the floating bed, that just caught my eye. The idea of not having any bed frame exposed was really interesting. It's not something that we certainly see a lot of. It's something I've never done before, but I really like it. So that's why it's made the board. It will be on our furniture and objects board. If you're looking for it later, I just really like this table lamp. Isn't it gorgeous? It's just the shade of pink and the shape and the sort of texture to the glass. Just a really nice reading lamp. This image here I pinned, it's obviously a roof garden, and that's the board I've pinned it in. But again, it's the idea of the solid balustrade for privacy. And then we have this like planter section as acting as a softening sort of buffer to the top of that. So I really enjoy that as sort of a roof garden space. And of course it's got the curve in it, which is really nice. The Ruckers Hill House by Studio Bright, that had some beautiful colors in it. So we can see here that it's got a pink bathroom. It has a green bathroom. I really like the way the vanity units are done here. They remind me of a school locker, so sort of a commercial solution, but then the colors and then the depth of the vanity versus the depth of the storage. and the way they've done their shaving cabinet mirror with open storage and color, and then the mirror component. And then similar but different in this greener bathroom, obviously we've got three vanities, which makes me think that it's a children's bathroom. And then I really like the way the towel rail is on the front. In this pink one, it's down the side, and on this green one, it's across the front. And again, the tiny little amount of storage underneath that vanity is really lovely. From that same project, the shape of the windows was really nice. So they're a U shape. I just thought that was beautiful. And then it replicates that same shape over in the pool area. And then the use of that mosaic tile to line that concrete pool, again, pulls in the color palette from inside. So there's a nice continuity to this project, some really interesting shapes and some really interesting colors. These people are, obviously these clients were prepared to play around with both color and shape. So that was a really nice and inspiring project to pin today. From that same project was this cantilevered stair. I really love that. It's this enclosed box that suspends from the ceiling in black. That's a gorgeous staircase. So that's why that made the board. And then an interesting kitchen solution. I was not going to pin it until I realized that that is a sliding mesh screen that blocks off the kitchen. And then it made the board. That was the part of that kitchen that made that image, made the board today. And then from that same project, obviously the built-in window seat for the dining room, and also the little light fitting that they've gone for across that dining room table actually has some coloured birds on it, which timber birds, I'm assuming, which is a really playful element, and again is reflective, that shape there that the bird is sitting in, of the U shape that we're seeing in the pool area and also the windows themselves. So that's why that image has made the board. I pinned this vanity unit. I mean, it's a pretty standard vanity unit. I was pinning it because I was noticing today coming through all these feature wall lights. That was that image there and this image here for the bathroom. And the way that they're using colored glass, and just making you aware that colored glass next to a vanity mirror is going to change the color of your complexion. So it's going to make applying makeup challenging. So while I really like colored glass as a table lamp, and I really like these light fittings as light fittings, if I was putting them in a vanity unit and wanting them to be task lighting, I don't think they're going to succeed. I think they're a decorative element, and if I was doing my makeup, I would want to do that then at a different station that had really great lighting around it. So that's why those two images are actually on the board, was more to talk about the choice of wall lighting next to the vanity unit. This image here, I just really liked that door handle. I have had the opportunity to feel the texture of that door handle, and it is extraordinary. So that's why that door handle has made the board. Concrete, again, one of my favorite products. Here we can see it in a bath. It does come in a variety of colors, and they do basins as well. So I always like to give that option. You know, people are looking at different ways of doing things, and I think concrete is certainly something to consider. I have mentioned before, I do have a concrete kitchen sink myself at home. So it is one of those materials I really like. I love the fact that you can now get them colored. And so I've put that on the board to inspire people around their bathroom fittings in terms of color. This project here I pinned just to show that whole wet area concept again. So where your bath is in the same space as your shower, there is a door. It does mean your bathroom feels bigger if you are prepared to have a wet bathtub when you shower. I like it as a solution. I appreciate some people don't, but it is on the board to inspire you. This image here, it's the same shower, just we're seeing it from a different angle, and I pinned it for the tile. The little herringbone mosaic is stunning. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous tile. I'm not a fan of a shower niche, but I do appreciate that they've lined it with Caesar stone or a marble that matches the vanity bench over here, so you don't have crazy mitering of tiles going on that wouldn't work in that space. I, again, would have done a half-height wall over a niche, but I just love that tile. Also from that project was this walk-in robe. It's very dark. That's one of the things to notice. It feels very luxe with their choice of window furnishings and the paneling color of their wood. They also have up here, you can see heating and cooling, but just to be mindful, it is a very dark feeling space, but kind of luxe. So that's why that's made the board today. This shower made the board because, well, it was the tile again. Fish scale tiles are really on my radar at the moment, so it was more the tile than the layout or anything else, just the tile for inspiration on that one. This one here, it's the stair. It's the solid plaster balustrade. It's got this beautiful turned timber handrail on it. And then the way that they've transitioned up from their parquetry flooring, coming up the timber, and then we hit the landing on the winder and we turn and it transitions into carpet. I really like that as a design solution. I personally would have made the timbers the same between the handrail of that staircase and the staircase below, but that again is personal preference. As a concept, I really like it. From the same project, it was the light fitting and then their playful use of materials in this dining room. I really like the furniture and the way that's interacting with the light fitting. And then they had this divine little round table with the built-in window seat in another part of their house, which was really inspiring and made the board. And then finally from that project, I pinned this image for the window furnishings. I touched on it yesterday as well. It's just, where do you put that curtain rail when you're doing a drape like this? In this instance, it is hard up to the bottom of the cornice. Yesterday we saw it slightly lower, and then of course, which wasn't at a picture rail level but could have been, and then of course there would be the obvious one where you'd put it at the top of the window head. So it's just providing examples of different window furnishing heights to give some people some ideas of what it is that they might like, and we can see it replicated here in that same project. It feels like it works in the walk-in robe because it's lining up with the top of that robe, and in fact I would have continued that material all the way to the underside of that cornice like it is on that side, but down here it's not really lining up with anything, and perhaps it would have been better if the rail itself was white or off-white and not black. I'm not sure, but it feels to me not so good in this image. It feels much better in this image, and that is all to do with the lines around it. That is all that we have found today on the internet for our Pinterest page. We have started uploading our previous episodes of the Daily Pinup on our Pinterest page. If you have missed them, the best place to view them, however, is YouTube, just simply because of the format of the video and the length of the videos. So I hope you've got an opportunity to go back and look at some earlier ones if you haven't caught them. There is an ongoing dialogue across them around design tips and tricks that we like to curate, as well as really inspiring images. That's all that we've got for you today on Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.